What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Auxbeam reached out to me, asked me if I was interested in their product. This is the AS-R80. This is an 8-gang slim. This is their all new panel. Pretty stoked to try it out. I was just trying some OEM switches. It's a mess because you got to run all the wiring back to the relays and stuff like that. So I think this is going to really clean everything up. So this has got toggle, momentary, and pulsed. It's got the red, green, and blue backlighting, so you can change the backlighting on it. We're going to be going through all the functions and an honest review at the end of the video, so stick around. This is what I was originally planning on doing. Like I said, they reached out just at the perfect time here. I was going to try having some OEM switches here. So all this wire you have to run through the firewall, and then you got to tap into the fuse box up here. It's just a huge pain in the butt, so I literally just zip tied the wiring down here and I just kind of gave up on it. With the Auxbeam, all you have to do is run one wire through the firewall instead of having all these wires for all these different lights. And then I can hook up my air compressor to it as well. So with that one wire, I'm probably going to run it through here, and then we're going to mount probably right under here. It's pretty dang slim. Which panel is pretty sweet. It's an 8-gang, like I said, really slim. So I think I'm going to try to tuck it back under here. I think it'll look really clean. You can still utilize the space underneath of it. So that's kind of what I'm planning on doing at the moment. Comes with some super detailed instructions on the installation. So we're going to give this a little read, get started here. It's nice it comes with all sorts of stickers here for anything you need. It's got everything I need on it. Let's see, air compressor, light bars, cubes. Yeah, looking good. So this looks like the circuit box here. Got the circuit box, 8-amp circuit breaker. Switch panel itself. Oh, nice. Yeah, much more slim than I imagined. I think that's gonna look really nice in the Toyota Tacoma, in that spot I was talking about. Got some hardware. Looks like this is the add a fuse. Oh, it looks like they maybe added a low profile too for the Toyota Tacomas. I think you need a low profile add a fuse, so that's cool. I think they put 2 in there. We got the bracket for the switch panel. Some wiring. Mounting brackets at the bottom of the phone. Okay, nice. Cool. So yeah, this is what we need to start here. So looks like we're gonna mount that. So we're gonna need to find some locations on the vehicle that we can tap in and mount this, make it super clean. Nice. It's so nice. You don't need any relays or anything like that. So I guess you just wire in everything to the corresponding amperage. Looks pretty dang simple and straightforward there. Let's get started mounting this bracket. So as you can see, all your wires need, you got to run everything, everything you're running in terms of your auxiliary lights to the battery. You can see I've got one of my S8s. It's a 30-inch light bar. I've got my ditch lights on here, so you got to run all the wires, positive and negatives, to here. I mean, I've got relays all over, wiring tucked all over all over the place. I got wiring. So I'm probably going to end up mounting the circuit box here. They provide a bracket, so I'm probably going to use this existing hole and then maybe tap in there. So we'll use that circuit box there and it'll be nice and clean. And then if I ever want to add anything, it's going to be super simple. Just wire it right into that, and then you run one wire for the switch panel through the firewall instead of running all these wires through there. Anytime you want to add something, makes it super easy and clean. So we're going to go ahead and start working on getting that bracket mounted for the circuit box. So guys, what I'm doing here to mount this bracket is I marked my holes off, drilled the 3/8 hole, and now I'm putting 1/4 20 riv nuts in here. Pretty easy to install. I'll show you from the back side here. So it might be hard to see, but there's a flange, so when you put it through, so it should hold it pretty securely for what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and install this other one here. If you guys are interested in doing the rivet nuts, they're not required. You can use the factory bolt hole and then just get a self-tapping screw for the other side, but I'm pretty OCD about fit and finish, so that's why I'm putting these guys in. I want it in a certain location. So this is the rivet nut tool. You can buy these on Amazon. And then I got 1/4 20 rivet nuts. These are what I used in my camper build too as well for a lot of things. So you basically screw this on here, stick it in the hole, and then pinch it, which makes this flange out on the back side, and then that's what secures it. So we're gonna go do that now. So that's what the rivet nut looks like. It's just a 1/4 20, so let's go ahead and test this out. See, if you guys don't want to use this rivet nut, you can use this as a factory bolt hole, and then you can just use a self-tapping screw on the other side. The reason why I didn't want to do that is because I didn't want it interfering with this fuse panel. Then I'd have to move this, so I chose that location over just using the factory bolt here. Can't wait to get all these wires out of the way. So guys, I got the mounting bracket in there for the circuit box. Came out super solid, looking real good. So we're gonna go ahead and mount the Auxbeam on that bad boy. Guys, I got the circuit box all mounted up here. What I ended up having to do is I used my own 1/4 20, about 1 inch long, and I had some leftover aluminum spacers. These are 1/2 inch spacers, just to clear, I don't know if you guys can see that, but just to clear this back here. It's still super secured, so it is up just a little bit off that bracket. So that's what I had to do for my setup. And then also to be able to open this top, I was having some clearance issues on this inner hole here, so that's why it's set up the way it is. So overall it came out pretty good. Pretty simple to install that bracket. Let's move on to the next step. I got the switch panel here. What I did was I put the mounting bracket on there. I got it to fit just right in Tacoma. And now I'm going to use this double-sided tape on the top and on the mounting bracket like they provided. And we're going to go ahead and try to get it installed in here and just see how sturdy it is. I might tap some holes in the bottom here, we'll see. But this is pretty solid double-sided tape. It's basically a RC car servo tape. Super strong stuff, so I'll give it a shot. So guys, my idea here actually worked out really well. I mean, that's super clean. I'm really liking that location. It's super solid on there. I mean, it doesn't move at all. It's crazy. That stuff is very strong. So still got to mount the wire underneath here, run it through there. But yeah, comment below, let me know what you guys think of that location. I think it's super clean. You can still utilize, you still got the light under there. It's not interfering with the light, so this is going to light up down below, and then you can still put your stuff down below. And then I think this is just a really nice clean spot for it. Really digging it. So here's a shot from the side here. Super clean. So guys, so far this is all the wiring that came out. This is literally the wiring harnesses with relays. One of them's for the S8 30-inch light bar. The other one is for the dish lights, so you can see how much wiring it takes just because all the relays, and you got to run all this through your firewall. So it's actually looking pretty dang clean right now. Next, we're going to be working on the add-a-fuse here. I've got 3 different ones. I had to purchase the right one for mine. It looks like it's a low pro, I think they call it. This is the one you want. It's a low pro to tap in and to the add-a-fuse. These 2 Auxbeam provided. These didn't work out for the Toyota Tacoma. So for Toyota Tacoma, you need the low profile. So we're going to go ahead and tap into this. We're going to get the fuse cover off. We're going to get in there. So guys, here's the inside of the fuses here. So I'm going to be going in to add a fuse in this 10 amp up here. It's, if you look at the cover, it's a INJ 10 amp. So I've done my research online and everyone's telling me to go off this 10 amp INJ fuse just because it will turn off when your vehicle's off too as well, so you don't drain your battery. So we're going to go ahead and tap into that now. Guys, there's no real good place to run this wire for the add a fuse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke just a tiny little hole with this body reamer, and then I'm going to use some of this putty tape to seal it off, just as I did up here. I mounted these through the fuse cover, and then I put some putty tape on the top and bottom. I haven't had any issues with water, so I mean, I've used this stuff all over my camper and everything else, so this is what I use to seal stuff up pretty easily. So just a tiny little hole, and then we're going to seal it up with that putty tape. As you can see, it's a tiny little hole I poked through there. It's very, very tight. I'm pulling this wiring through it, and then when I get it to the depth I want, I'm going to go ahead and put some of that putty on the outside and inside just to be sure it's weatherproof. So guys, I'm using these little heat shrink with solder in them to get this fuse wiring done with. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this up, shrink wrap it, and then wrap it on the inside and use some of that putty, wrap that up. So here's some of that putty. I'll make a little snake out of it and wrap it around the wire. Push my finger in it, should seal it up real nice. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it looks like it came up pretty well. So again, this is a very small hole. I just pulled the wire through. It was a snug fit, and then I went through and just put some of that putty around the edge of the wire. And for the fuse block, guys, we're going to go ahead and get this mounted on top of the fuse cover here. I'm going to put it, this is for my Blue Eddy DC to DC charger, so we're going to get this mounted. I'm going to be using some super strong Velcro 3M tape, and we're going to get that stuck on top. So I just cleaned everything with alcohol. There should be plenty to be able to hold this. Apparently these are supposed to hold like 50 pounds. They're super sticky, so we can give this a shot. So now we're using the positive wiring provided by Auxbeam. We got our fuse block installed here, got our positive inside of our little circuit panel. I got everything kind of organized how I want, and the next step is going to be running the switch panel wiring that needs to go through the firewall, and then we're going to hook up everything to the battery and give it a test, make sure everything works. What I'm going to be using to run that wiring up through my firewall is I'm going to put this through the firewall. This is just like this is for my water filter. It's just like some water hose, so it's kind of stiff, and you can bend it around a little bit. So I think this is going to work out. I'm just going to tape it. Well, I'm going to put it through the firewall first. I'm going to tape the wiring to it and then pull the wiring through for the switch panel. So there's a little grommet down there. It's going to be really hard to see, but there's a little grommet that has all your wiring through it going through your firewall. So that water hose, you can see I shoved it through and it's popping right here. So I'm going to go ahead and tape off that cable and pull it through the firewall for the switch panel. So here's the wiring for the switch panel. I'm going to tape this on to here and then pull it through. So here it is, guys. We pulled it through. It's probably gonna be really hard to see, but the grommet's up there. And now we're gonna run this up here, tuck it away nice. And then there's where we got the switch panel, 8-gang switch panel installed. So we got the switch panel wire, ran through the firewall. I got that hooked up. Got my positive negatives hooked up here. We'll turn the vehicle on accessory mode. See if we can get this switch panel to light up. Give everything a little quick test, and then we'll probably get to wiring the lights. Nice. So yeah, it comes in with the accessories on the car here. It lights up. So we're gonna go through here. We can change the brightness and the color. We're going to be going through all that here in a little bit, but yeah, sweet. It's working. All right, what's up, guys? So now we got this switch panel from Auxbeam all hooked up. Just want to go over some of the features of what it offers here. So we've got, if you go to mode here, you double press mode, and then you're going to be able to go through here. As you can see, these are all blinking red, so you can go through and toggle. If you hit the button, you can go, it's toggle mode, so it's going to be the red. So the red is going to be, you just want to turn it on and off. You can do pulse mode, which is going to give you emergency flashing, if you ever want to use that. So that's kind of cool feature, I think, is you can have your lights flash if you want in an emergency on the road. And then you have momentary, which I believe is, like, say I want my DRLs, my LEDs and my S8 to turn on, my DRL, the daytime running lights, if I just want those to turn on when the vehicle turns on, I believe is that mode. So yeah, it's got those 3 modes. I'm probably just going to use toggle for mine. For my setup, I only have 4 of these hooked up right now. I've got some plans for some other lights, so maybe I'll do that in the future, which would be kind of nice to have. I am going to be changing light here. Right now it's set on green, so we're going to toggle through and we can change this light. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Changing the background color here. It's red, green, and blue color spectrum, so I believe you can change it to any color you want. So to do that, you just want to hit mode and any button once, and then you're going to hold down this first button here, and as you're holding it down, it's going to take you through the different colors. So it's going from like purple, I kind of like that blue, kind of matches the rest of the truck. So I'm going to hit mode and save that color there. So yeah, this is nice, guys. I found the blue that perfectly matches the truck. It's hard to see with all this sun here, but so this is the blue on the OEM kind of color for the rest of the background, all your controls here and everything else. So that blue is going to match everything just perfect. So that's pretty cool. This little sensor, if you put your hand over it, it'll end up dimming your lights just a little bit for night, and then during day it brightens up a little bit. So if you don't want these lights or don't like them, you can go ahead and hit mode, and then that's going to shut all the lights down. which is kind of nice to have too as well. But yeah, overall I'm really digging this setup. It's super clean. I really like how it's mounted under here. I can still utilize the space underneath of it. It really just looks clean with the truck here. The install itself was, I would rate it, you know, very easy. It took me maybe 2 hours to do the full install, and then, you know, that's even including wiring up my S8, my pod lights. So I've got them all associated, you know, the S8's hooked up to I think it goes 30 amp, 30 amp, 20 amp, 20 amp. So you got to make sure you have your lights on the right circuit panel in there for the right fuse. I'm going to be adding an air compressor. So I'm going to be adding that probably to one of these ports. I'm going to have some side lights, some reverse lights, probably some chase lights in here. So I'm definitely going to be utilizing this full 8-gang switch panel. So yeah, again guys, I would rate this very easy on the install. I really enjoy it. It cleaned up a lot of wires. You don't have to deal with a bunch of relays. You don't have to deal with all the wiring come through the firewall. It's just one wire come through the firewall. So it just really cleans everything up. Overall guys, I'd rate this product a 9 out of 10. I really like it. So I think the big difference between like Auxbeam and these switch panels and the Switch Pros, you know, the Switch Pros are super expensive. Auxbeam, I mean, these are really affordable, a couple $100. I mean, you can have the full setup as what a Switch Pros does. I just believe the Switch Pros, from what I researched, it looks like you can somehow like dim some of your lights, which for me, I don't know that I would ever use that. Maybe in the camper setup, it would be nice to dim some lights, but I don't think I'll ever have to dim or want to dim an LED light bar or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend this product. I'm super stoked on it.